We are live. Why is my camera like tilted? There we go. Hello. Hi everybody. I'm Amanda Call. This is my channel. I am back after being out for a week cuz I was so sick. Oh, that was super unpleasant. I was sick for way too long. Way too long. But that is hopefully done for now. And so we're going to work on a new skull illustration. I have a blank piece of paper. I have some reference images up on my screen that I'm looking at off camera here, and we're gonna try to see if we can come up with a new illustration tonight. I had a hard time finding a reference that would really do what I wanted it to do for this one, but I think I may have found something. I think this will work. We will see. Hello, Mickey. How are you doing? Hey, hungry. Oh no. Yeah, everybody went back to school and the germs they just start circulating. Even if you don't have kids, germs they just go around. Everybody ends up getting a whole bunch of fun new germs that they didn't have previously cuz they're just out and about. All right. I feel like the bottom part I called it traveling to visit your family. Yeah, that can do it too. I feel like this skull's mandible is a little bit too big. Let's make that a little bit smaller. All right, that's a little better. Portion is looking a little bit better there. All right, I have a basic skull shape at this point. But yes, I was sick for, oh my god, way too much time. It was not pleasant. I had a terrible stomach bug. I'm like better at this point, but still not 100%. Like I can function. I feel like a human again, but I'm not 100% for sure. It's not a good time. All right. There's a basic kind of quickly sketched in where I'm going to have the actual floral crown situation happen on this guy. Let's try to make a little more progress on this skull, getting this done. So yes, I missed a whole week of hanging out with you fine folks, which is a bummer. I hope everyone has been well. Minimum amount of plague going on in everyone else's life. Get this angle of the nose is very, very tricky. So let's see. Other than lying on my couch and feeling like garbage, what have I been up to in the last couple of weeks? I've been very busy with like family stuff, um, family and friend stuff. I did also officiate my best friend's wedding, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, right before I got sick. Which was so awesome. It was such a lovely wedding, such a lovely ceremony, which I do not really take credit for. I threw together a little script, but it was, at the bequest and guidance of the couple getting married. So they get a lot of the credit for that. Hey, Spud. And a bunch of people afterwards were like, "Oh my gosh, that was like the best wedding ceremony I have ever been to." And I'm like, "Okay, I appreciate the compliments and everything, but I'm still convinced like I don't think that that had anything to do with me." And I'm pretty sure that like honestly, I don't think anyone really remembers anything that I said. Uh Nor will they. Like, I don't think they did immediately after the ceremony. I don't think they're going to anytime after that. I think that part of what made the ceremony so awesome and so memorable and why people were like, "Oh, this is so great," is just because the couple were so obviously like full of joy and so infatuated and so incredibly happy to be there. Like they were they were just staring right at each other and holding hands and just being ridiculously adorable, like, the entire time. And I think that probably had the most to do with everybody being like, "Oh, that was such a lovely ceremony." It's like, yes, because the happy couple were obviously so incredibly happy, and it was just such a wonderful, joyful experience. Basically, yeah, my job, in fact, as Mickey says, my job as the efficient is to blend into the background so the couple can be stared at, pretty much. And that's like, I just tried not to screw anything up or say anything dumb, and that was pretty much it. Said the stuff they wanted me to say and tried not to be an idiot about it. All right, we've got Teefs. I can't even tell you, while trying to find good skull reference, how many absolutely terrible frickin' AI skull images I found, and people were like, "What a great," like, they would, like, label it, "Great photographic skull reference," and I'm like, "Oh, really? Because people normally have, like, 87 teeth? Is that a new thing? Did I miss something? Did I miss the memo where that's a thing humans normally have?" Oh my god. Like, it was already very difficult finding good photo reference on the internet because there's just always a lot of chaff out there. You have people that mislabel things. You have people that just like, they put up goofy like goofy costume stuff and be like, this is totally historically accurate or whatever. And, just a lot of things just not it's a lot of garbage out on the internet. There always has been a lot of garbage trying to do any visual research on the internet. This is not new, but it's gotten so much worse. Like, so much worse. It's gotten to the point where it's like, "Oh, this is basically useless. I may as well just, use an actual encyclopedia at this point." Right? Just just bots talking to bots. Bots talking to bots talking to bots, and that's all that's happening on so many platforms at this point. So frustrating. Right, yeah, the art of the Google. It's definitely not easy though, that's for sure. It's very easy to end up with still finding a lot of crap that's not as helpful as you would like it to be. Okay, I need to sharpen my pencil and then clean up some of these teeth. Hey, someone sane. Okay, the last pencil that I sharpened in there was blue, so now I have a bunch of blue blue pencil dust all over my graphite pencil. I don't want that. Clean up all these little scraggly lines. Okay, that's better. All right, we've got the front here. This goes kind of. It goes a lot farther back than I would have thought. So let's see if this is here. I think that might have been part of my problem with the jaw coming out too big earlier, was that I just had that angle at the wrong angle. That's better. That looks much better. Okay. All of these like creepy holes in the face, like in the face bones. There's like quite a few of them. And I'm pretty sure those ones, like, don't 100% quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure those are where nerves come through, if I remember correctly. Main thing I learned when I took anatomy was that there are a ton of holes in bones where you wouldn't expect them to be. This is true. Like, why is there a hole there? There just is. They're just 'cause. Just 'cause. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah, nerves and blood vessels. Yep. I do recall that several times having like dental work done and stuff. They're like, "Hey, just so you know, we could totally accidentally paralyze your face doing this because there's a major nerve that runs through your jaw." And I'm just like, they're like, just so you know, that's fine, right? You still want us to do this, right? It's like, what, but what kind of a question is this? Am I supposed to say no? Don't fix the like dental problem I'm here for? Like, what? I guess go ahead. Try not to damage my face nerves. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. Okay, we have a good part of the skull established. I'm going to start working on, because like this side of the skull I still need to do some work on, but the little uh the floral thingy. How many skulls do you think you've drawn? I could not begin to guess. I am also constantly doodling them and not sharing them, so I couldn't. Hundreds probably. Like, so many. So yeah, so I'm gonna start working on the little floral crown thing here, and then after I get the floral crown done, I'll go back and do the rest of the skull because that's kind of overlapping it right now. So the skull obsession, just for some backstory, obviously I was always a little bit of a gothy kind of kid my whole life. Uh, but the skull obsession properly really got kicked off when I was in art school and having to do a lot of like anatomy studies. And I was just like, oh, this is so fascinating, like learning about how anatomy worked and everything and having to like really study it super closely. Um, that like took it to a whole other level. And I did so many drawings of skulls in school as just like part of my education, learning about these things, learning about anatomy, learning about how humans are put together. And it's one of those things that it's just like it just became a subject that I just could not get enough of. Skulls and bones in general. Yes, why not draw every little needle? Why not? Totally not an insane thing to do. Not holly. You're on sort of the right track. It is an evergreen. Different family than holly, though. So this series of skulls is a boozy series of skulls. My first one, actually, do I have it right over here somewhere? What did I do with it? The first one I did like most of last month. Let's see, he's done. Isn't he nice? He's all done. That's my wine skull with my grape leaves and bundle of grapes there. So yeah, it's juniper because this is my gin skull. Yes, because I Yeah, I thought it was a fun new theme to do because I really love my season skulls. They're a very fun theme, and they've been one that people have really enjoyed for years. But it's like I've sold them for years, and I just kind of wanted to freshen things up. I was like, I'd like to do a new series of skulls. What am I gonna do? And then I had the idea to do the boozy skulls, and so I've got a few different. It's gonna be another series of 4, like the seasons. So I did wine, and now we're doing gin. Oh, a skull with bees and comb for that would be really cool. I actually had not planned on that as part of this series, but also there's like way more types of booze than I'm gonna be able to fit in this. So, granted, I'm not probably gonna do like all of them because some of them because like I looked into like, oh, what about tequila? But tequila comes from the agave plant is enormous. Like you can't it doesn't make sense to like it's not scaled to a human. It doesn't work because like they're huge. They're so huge. It would not work unless the skull was of a giant. So I was like, well, okay, I guess that one's off the list, but that's fine. I don't really outside of a margarita, I don't really drink tequila anyway, so yeah, it's crazy. It's so huge. It's so huge. I was like, "Oh, is there, like, maybe just, like, a little flower or something that I can u" No, everything about this plant is absurdly large, so it just doesn't work. Yeah, we've gotten one tiny little section of this done. Ha ha ha. It's gonna take me a minute here. That's okay. We're in good time. We're making good time on this one. So many little berries. Everything about this is tiny and very particular. Anyway, all right. What has everybody else been up to? I don't have an awful lot to report because I've been gross. That's been my exciting big excitement lately is, I got very sick. But trying to get back on track. Trying not to like immediately overdo it and do that thing where it's like, I feel better. Now I have to go into turbo mode to catch up on everything I'm behind on and then like make myself sick again because I'm not actually back up to like full energy levels, even if I don't feel sick anymore. Mina found Bob but couldn't find his booth. Oh, Dragon Con. Oh, I'm glad you got to go to Dragon Con. I haven't seen Mina in about 1,000 years. Or Bob for that matter. I'm so glad you got to see Bob. She just like randomly ran into him on the con floor somewhere. Couldn't actually track down his booth. I mean, Bob is basically a cryptid, so that tracks. Oh my gosh, let's not throw our eraser. Oh, I see, I see. She found the booth. You couldn't find it. P. Craig Russell. Oh, it would have been so cool to meet P. Craig Russell. His work is so good. And Steranko. Very cool. All right. Rapidly approaching the part where I'm going to have to finish figuring out the skull so that I can then do the part of the crown that goes around the back. Really wanted to buy a piece from Russell, but it was one of a few he didn't have prints of, so he couldn't sell me the original. Boo! That's too bad. Because that would have been so cool. Okay. All right. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and try to finish up the actual skull shape. Do, 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 do. All right. This went a little too far. All right, some of these extra lines that are just kind of taking up space and are just going to confuse me later. Those we're going to clean up a little bit. All right, there we go. Because, of course, a skull is not like perfectly round like a ball. It's got all sorts of weird little planes and flat spots and is actually made of a bunch of different bones that all fuse together at some point when you're like a little toddler. All right, there's our lovely little skull. We're going to add just a little bit more definition around the brow because it was kind of lacking. I think it was just the lighting on my reference image. This section was a little bit blown out, so it was kind of hard to discern some of that. All right. It looks like we're gonna actually finish just a tiny bit early, maybe, because I don't have a lot left to do. So just in case we finish a few minutes early, I'm gonna go ahead and start going over some of the YouTube things. I'm Amanda Call. This is my channel. Usually I'm streaming every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. I skipped last week because I was sick, and those things happen. But that's usually one of the only reasons that I'll skip is because I'm sick or something came up or something like that. So if you want to make sure that you know when I might have to skip a stream for whatever reason, a great way to do that is to subscribe because then when I make my little community tab post that's like, hey guys, I'm not going to make it, you'll get to see that notification. Gives you the little alerts for that. Usually on these streams, I'm always creating some kind of artwork, but a lot of times what I'm creating is another page for my comic, Age of Night. You can read Age of Night on ageofnight.com for free. That's AGEOFNIGHT.com. And that updates just about every Wednesday. But again, I skipped last week because I was super sick. But there will be a new page tomorrow. Getting back on schedule on all the things after feeling like garbage. And while you can read the whole comic for free and you online and you can always watch me working on stuff here on YouTube for free, if you would like to support me, there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can go to my Patreon. That's patreon.com/ageofnight. You can also support me on Ko-fi, coffee, whatever you want to call it, ko-fi.com/AmandaCallArt. You got options. You can follow me on various social medias as either Age of Night, or Amanda Call art, and upcoming stuff. So I only have a couple more comic conventions ready coming up for this season before it wraps. I have uh, Granite Con coming up in like a week and a half. That's in Manchester, New Hampshire. And then after that, I have Bangor Comic and Toy Con in the first weekend in October in Bangor, Maine. So yeah, we have a lovely little skull drawing here. I started with a blank piece of paper about 45 minutes ago, and now we have a drawing of a skull with its lovely little juniper crown. And next time, we're gonna work on getting that inked. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me. I will see you all next time. Bye.